Hello there, World of Takers, and welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Droodles, Blitz, and in today's video, I will not be playing in the mouse. This Tier 10 German Super Heavy, while very strong occasionally, has a lot of downsides. First of all, very weak lower plate. Weak upper plate, as long as you have 340 plus millimeters of pen. Its turret cheeks are even penetrable by all mediums, which is weird, because mediums can't pen the E100 turret, yet they can pen the mouses. And the final nail in the coffin is that it only goes 25. It basically sticks out like a sore thumb to any skilled player as a bunch of free hit points to shoot. This is the VK90. First of all, it's a lot smaller than the mouse. Its upper plate is better. Its turret is better. It's got no weak spot really on the hatch. Sure, it looks like one, but you need about 340 mils of pen to even have a chance of cutting through that hatch, and it's still very, very troll. VK90 has 10 degrees of gun depression over the side, which is 3 more than the mouse. It has more standard pen. I think a better gun in just flat general, because it's also got better aiming time, better DPM. I'm sorry. I know there's a lot of things I just said at once, and I speak very quick, but in basic words, if you had a list of pros and cons for somebody that you had a crush on, compared to another dude, or whatever that you had a crush on, just pretend that the one list is of the guy that's got, like, all the cons, and then the other list is the guy that's got all the pros. So, yeah, that's basically how I think of this tank. I just think of it as, if I were to date this tank compared to the mouse, this one has every single pro over the mouse. It kind of sucks, but, that's just how it is. So, what does the enemy team have? AMX-50B, E100, Fosh, M6 show. I mean, they got a decent lineup of vehicles. It doesn't really matter if I read it or not. The whole point of a VK90 is to tank shells for the team, just like a mouse. Now, I should point out that I do have less hit points at 2,744 compared to the 3,000, but you also can run more sandbags on this tank and get it up to around 2,800, so I mean, if you really want hit points, you can get them. I don't really think this tank needs hit points because it's got everything else going for it. So at this point, it appears that at least some of the enemy team is positioning towards town. I mean, E100 is spotted in a very weird position, but I'm just going to drive straight down this road. And, well, there's a yo. Hello! There you go. One nice shot into the yo. Now, he is firing heat into us, but I'm just going to wiggle that hull. Unfortunately, we did get penned by the E4. But the good news is that even though this yo fired at us, he only penned one shell. And those were heat shells, by the way. And we were able to connect a pretty decent chunk of our own. I don't want to be shot by the C-Force. There you go. Perfect bounce. But we instead get shot by the VK. This is actually really bad. This is just about the worst situation I could be stuck in here. I didn't realize the entirety of the enemy team was going to this one spot. So now that I do, I have backed up. Okay. We're fine. We're fine. Just a little bit of pain was administered to my tank. We got the 50B over here. We get one nice bounce from his vehicle, and then I'm going to continue angling it. I'm going to continue. Also, you want to look at your opponent with the VK90. We did get penned in the track wheel, but that's all fine because we did end up bouncing from the T110E4, and we're just going to back up at this point, like this, and perfect. Now, again, the VK90 has very, very good pen, so I can just butter right through the 50B turret with no problems whatsoever. Now, we do have a damaged engine, which kind of sucks because you can see I've used both my repair kits, but in reality, it's honestly kind of fine. As you can see, this is where that gun depression on the VK90 is very nice. 10 degrees is plenty to work. Hull down. Couldn't do this in the mouse right here. And we're actually doing pretty good, if I'm going to be totally honest. We've dealt a pretty solid chunk so far. This E4, not a very smart person. He was doing fine against us, but then he turned around and let me HE him for a very, very solid chunk. So, 5 more seconds left. We'll have another shell ready for the taking. So let's angle my vehicle out like this, and I'm going to shoot, I want to shoot that E4, but I can't shoot anybody right now. There you go. Nice shot into the E4. Let's put on my adrenaline. We've dealt already 3,400 damage, which is a very solid chunk, and we won. I mean, I could have dealt a lot more. That VK72 had a huge chunk of HP, and if that game had the opportunity to continue, I probably could have dealt maybe 4,200, 4,300. It would have been a pretty easy damaging game. But look at that. We blocked 2,600. Even that yo firing heat shells at us had a very hard time penetrating our lower plate. Now, to be fair, that was definitely a bit of a skill issue because he was loading heat and our lower plate is quite large. But I took advantage of his skill issue and we got out a pretty solid chunk of damage. So here we are in our second battle. Let's see. We got an E100, FE215B, and a Type 71. They do have a 4005 and a Hotri, both very deadly tanks in their own rights. 4005 doesn't necessarily scare me, but the only thing you do got to be careful about with rear-turreted vehicles like the VK90 is that obviously it's got a super big track wheel. And unlike the mouse where the tracks are a little bit protected by armor around them, this tank, these tracks are free for the taking. So you got to be really careful with this tank in that you don't overexpose your tracks, or you're going to be using your repair kits very quickly, and your hit points are going to be draining very, very fast. At base C, the enemy team probably has the Sheridan. I mean, they don't have any other mobile vehicle, so it has to be the Sheridan. Unfortunately, we missed the shot, but I also know that my vehicle is shaped like a big ol' schlong. So basically, I know that the enemy can shoot at me if I expose my side, which is something that I obviously don't want to do. So there's the Sheridan. We trade, but you know what? That's honestly fine with me, because our team is winning over on heavy side, and as long as I can distract the Sheridan from actually doing his job on medium side and keeping our T100 LT alive, then we're actually in a pretty solid situation here. Now, I'm not sure if this type is going to poke me. I'm hoping that he doesn't, but I guess we'll find out. Hello? Interesting. You know what, I could just back up here and shoot this U100. I was thinking about it, and I was like, yeah, might as well. So here we are. Free shot. Let's try and shoot him in the engine. Yeah, we did. No, we didn't damage his engine. Never mind. That's his track. Well, you know what? I'll still take it. A pen's a pen after all. That's going to force that E100 to drive up, which is then going to stop him from doing anything else. Once again, the Sheridan shoots me, but it really doesn't matter that much. The only thing that matters is that if our team is a little bit smarter and pushes that Sheridan. Good. There you go. T100 gets a nice shot in. Type 71 appears to be YOLOing to my T100 LT, so I'm going to aim in a shot right there, and little unfortunate that that missed, but it's all fine. I mean, at this point, it looks like a fairly easy win if you were to ask me. Unfortunately, the LT ran the wrong way. He should have ran my way, and it would have been a lot better for him. Now we got the Type right here. Perfect shot, right into his turret cheek. It's very rare to get lucky shells like that. I can't really say that was my aiming, because it's pretty easy to aim at weak spots. It's a lot harder to get lucky shots on those weak spots. So, the Sheridan, I'm going to tunnel him, and he's going to die. I'm not worried about him. I don't even care if he pens me. I'm just going to poke him and kill him. Of course he max rolls me because that's my luck, and I never ever get good luck. But still. Alright, so now all we have to do is beat this Type. We're going to get one shell into his hatch. We're going to make sure that if he tries to pen my upper plate, he can't by angling it like this. But I guess he's going to go through my turret cheek, so it doesn't really matter. We're going to go for another pretty stock standard pen onto his vehicle. And even though we do get cleared by the Leopard, all I needed to do was that long enough because, yeah, the 183 just nuked the guy. So it worked perfectly. Everything worked according to plan. So, yeah, that actually went pretty well. The 183 is not a useful tank in a lot of situations. It's not a very useful tank a lot of times. However, I saw that he was there and he had, he nuked somebody else over there earlier. I think it was the Hori, that's right. He nuked the Hori right before he rushed me, so I was able to kill him. So I knew the 183 would probably be smart enough to also hit that Type, which he did. So, worked out for me. The only reason we honestly died was because that Sheridan max rolled us. We definitely could have at least taken an extra shell from that Leopard and figured out what we were doing. But, oh well. It's not the end of the world. It's a pub battle. I'm not sure where this Leopard went, but we'll see how we did in the post-game results. And there you have it. We just finished our battle, and let's see how we did. 2,700 damage. Not bad. Nothing crazy, but the thing I always point out about super heavies is that you shouldn't do the most damage. What you should do is sacrifice for the team, and that's exactly what we did in that battle. We used our hit points, helped out our team, and yeah, came out with a solid victory. So overall, I just think the VK90's flat better than the mouse. I mean, it's not even much of an agreement or disagreement. It's just kind of statistical fact at this point, down to the fact that this tank can survive better. It has more gun depression. It's just sad. But yeah, I really hope Wargaming does something about the mouse and in the future. But for now, well, so be it. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. If you'd like to see more like it, please consider smashing that subscribe button down below. And other than that, I'll be seeing you in the next one. Bye-bye.